You are feeling something different right now, aren't you? An energy you cannot explain. A feeling that something sacred is happening. Your heart raced the moment your eyes found this message. It was no coincidence. Archangel Saint Michael has allowed me to speak directly to you because there is something urgent that needs to be revealed. Something that could completely change the course of your life. Close your eyes for a moment and take a deep breath. Feel the presence that is beside you at this very moment. No, you're not imagining it. The person you lost, the one who left this world leaving a void in your heart, is here. She never left your side, not even for a second. Every time you whisper their name in the silence of the early morning, every time you look up at the sky searching for a sign, they hear you. And today, through divine intervention, they can finally speak to you. Saint Michael has opened a special passage between worlds, a window in time that exists only for this moment. Your soul has been called here because there are hidden truths that can no longer wait. Truths about you, about your family, about people close to you who are not who they seem to be. And above all, about the miracle that is being prepared especially for you. The person you love who has already departed is desperate for you to understand something fundamental. You are not alone on this journey. Even when all seems lost, even when the whole world seems to have turned its back on you, there is a heavenly army working tirelessly on your behalf. But there are forces of darkness trying to prevent you from receiving what is rightfully yours. Lately, you have been feeling an inexplicable heaviness in your chest, a sadness that you cannot identify where it comes from. You have been waking up with the feeling that something is wrong, but without being able to put your finger on it. This is not ordinary depression. It is not just tiredness from life. It is your soul recognizing that there is a spiritual battle going on around you, and you are the prize in this battle. Someone very close to you, someone you trust blindly, has been working in the shadows to prevent your blessings from reaching you. This person smiles in your face, offers words of support, but behind the scenes is plotting your downfall. They know about a spiritual and material inheritance that is destined for you, and are doing everything they can to ensure you never discover the truth. Your departed loved one saw all this happening and begged Archangel Saint Michael to find a way to warn you. For months they tried to send you signs through dreams, songs that played at the right moment, repeating numbers, birds that appeared at your window. But the pain you carried was blocking the heavenly communication. Until today, until now. What you are feeling in your chest right now is not anxiety. It is recognition. Your soul is recognizing the voice of those who love you, remembering conversations you had in dimensions that your conscious mind cannot access. During all those nights when you couldn't sleep, it wasn't ordinary insomnia. It was your soul being called to spiritual encounters, preparing for this moment of revelation. The truth is that you have spiritual gifts that are much more powerful than you realize. Your intuition, that inner voice you always doubted, is actually the voice of angels speaking through you. Every premonition you had, every time something inside you told you not to trust a certain person or situation, was heavenly guidance trying to protect you. Before continuing with this sacred revelation, I need you to do something important. Write in the comments, "No evil can reach me, for I am protected by the light of the angels." This mantra is not just words. It is a spiritual shield that will protect you from any retaliation from the darkness when the truth is fully revealed. Do this now, because your protection is essential for what is to come. Your presence here is not accidental. Of the millions of people who could have found this message, you were specifically chosen. Your name is written in the heavenly scrolls, your story is being closely followed by the angels, and your victory is being prepared down to the smallest detail. But for everything to be fulfilled, you need to know the whole truth. The person who has departed wants you to know that in the last moment before passing away, their thoughts were of you. It was not about pain. It was not about the fear of death. It was about your future, about your happiness, about the certainty that you deserved much more than you were receiving from life. And it was precisely this loving concern that guaranteed them the right to intercede for you before the throne of the Most High. Saint Michael now shows me a vision of what happened in the last months of your life. You have been feeling exhausted, as if you were carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. People around you have been draining your energy, taking advantage of your kindness, using your generosity without ever giving anything back. And when you try to set boundaries, they make you feel guilty, as if you were the bad guy in the story. This is no coincidence. It is an orchestrated plan to keep you weak, vulnerable, dependent on the approval of others. Because when you are at your full spiritual strength, when you recognize your value and your power, you become dangerous to those who live off the crumbs of your light. And there is someone very specific who knows this and has been working systematically to keep you small. Your loved one wants you to pay attention to the latest events in your family life. There have been conversations from which you have been excluded, decisions made without your participation, documents signed without your knowledge. Someone in your own family, someone who should protect you, is hiding important information about an inheritance, about property, about money that has your name on it. The person who has passed away is showing me a very clear image, a table with papers scattered on it, people whispering, and your name being erased from a list. This happened a few months ago, maybe weeks, and the justification they gave was that you were not prepared or capable of handling certain responsibilities. But the truth is that you are the only one who is truly capable, and that scares them. Write in the comments, "I am guided, protected, and strengthened by the angels of goodness." I need you to activate this protection now, because what I'm about to reveal in the next few words may cause a revolution in your family life, and you need to be spiritually shielded to face the reactions that will come. There is a person in your family who has always been seen as the example, as the one everyone trusts, who always has the final say in important decisions. This person has built an image of reliability over the years, but behind that mask is a soul consumed by envy and fear that you will discover your true potential. They know that the moment you fully awaken, their charade will be exposed. Your loved one shows me that this person had access to documents proving their involvement in inheritances, life insurance, and properties that were left to you. But they altered information, omitted facts, and created alternative versions of the truth to keep you away from what is legally yours. And most painfully, they did this with the help of other family members who preferred to believe their lies rather than investigate the truth. But angels have perfect memories. They saw every document being altered, every conversation being plotted, every lie being planted. And now the time has come for divine justice to manifest itself. In the coming weeks, you will receive unexpected information. It may come through a lawyer, a bank, someone who worked with the person who passed away, someone who can no longer bear the weight of keeping unjust secrets. Archangel Saint Michael wants you to understand something fundamental. This battle is not only material, it is spiritual. Money and property are only physical symbols of something much greater. It is about recognition. It is about justice. It is about you finally taking the place that has always been yours by divine right. It is about breaking ancestral chains of injustice that have prevented the women of your lineage from thriving fully. And if this message is touching your heart deeply, consider supporting this channel with a gesture of light. Click on "Thank you very much." This kindness helps keep alive this mission of delivering words that heal and awaken. Each support like this strengthens our ability to continue being a channel for the angels to those who need it most. Now write in the comments, "My soul shines with divine light that nothing can extinguish." This affirmation will activate an inner flame that will burn away any negativity directed at you and magnetize opportunities that have been artificially blocked. Your loved one who has passed away wants you to know that she did not die in peace precisely because of this situation. In the last days of her life, she tried to fix things, tried to talk about you, about your rights, about how much you deserve to be cared for and protected. But she was already too weak to face family resistance and ended up leaving with this concern in her heart. That is why they begged the angels so much to find a way to communicate with you. Because they knew that you are strong enough to fight for the truth, brave enough to face people who hide behind family masks, and fair enough to use what is yours not only for your own good, but to break patterns of injustice that have been perpetuated for generations. But there is also a loving warning. When the truth begins to come to light, many people will try to convince you that you are being ungrateful, ambitious, that you are destroying the family. Do not believe these manipulations. Justice is not revenge. Claiming your rights is not greed. And exposing lies is not destruction. It is liberation. Archangel Saint Michael now reveals something to me that will deeply move you. During all those months when you felt abandoned, misunderstood, fighting alone against the world, your loved one was literally by your side. Every tear you shed in the silence of your room, she wiped away with invisible hands. Every night you took a long time to fall asleep, they stayed there humming softly to calm your heart. Remember that strange feeling you had a few times, as if someone were watching you with affection? Or that moment when you smelled a familiar perfume out of nowhere, at a time when you were particularly sad? It wasn't your imagination. It was her finding ways to show you that she was still present, that her love transcended physical death. And there's more. She's not alone in this mission to protect and guide you. There is a whole network of ancestors, guardian angels, and spirits of light who have organized themselves to ensure that you not only survive this difficult phase, but that you emerge from it completely transformed, empowered, prosperous, and happy. You are much more loved on the spiritual plane than you can imagine. Write in the comments, "The gates of heaven open for me with every breath." This will establish a direct bridge between you and the celestial plane, allowing blessings to flow freely and enabling you to receive increasingly clear guidance on the steps you should take. Saint Michael shows me that in the coming days, you will begin to have very vivid and meaningful dreams. These are not ordinary dreams. They are scheduled spiritual encounters. During these nighttime experiences, you will receive specific guidance on how to act in relation to family situations that are about to be exposed. You will see faces, hear names, and receive concrete clues about where to look for documents or evidence. Keep a notebook by your bed and write down everything you can remember when you wake up. Even if it seems confusing or symbolic at the moment, over time you will understand that every detail was precise guidance. Angels speak through symbols because it is a language that can cross the barriers between worlds without attracting the attention of forces that try to interfere. There is something specific that your loved one wants you to understand about your own spiritual nature. You have always been different from other people in your family, haven't you? More sensitive, more intuitive, more able to sense when someone is not being sincere. These characteristics are not weaknesses, they are powerful spiritual gifts. And it is precisely because of these gifts that you pose a threat to those who live in falsehood. People with developed spiritual sensitivity are like natural lie detectors. You sense the true intentions behind pretty words. You perceive negative energies even when they come disguised as kindness. That's why those who have something to hide will always try to disqualify you, make you doubt your own perception, convince you that you are exaggerating or paranoid. But Saint Michael reveals a powerful truth to me. Every time you doubted your intuition and accepted others' version of reality, you moved a little further away from your inner strength. And every time that happened, manipulative people gained more power over your life. The time has come to completely reverse this process. Now write in the comments, "My faith is my shield. My prayer is my sword of light." This affirmation activates your spiritual armor and makes you invincible against any manipulation or energetic attack that comes your way. Your loved one wants to tell you what she sees when she looks into your near future. She sees you regaining not only what was taken from you materially, but more importantly, regaining your self-confidence, your ability to say no, and your ability to set healthy boundaries. She sees you learning to use your spiritual gifts as tools for protection and discernment. There is a professional situation that is also about to change radically in your life. You have been feeling undervalued at work, passed over by less competent people, ignored in important decisions. This is also no coincidence. There is spiritual envy directed at you, coming from colleagues who subconsciously realize that you have special abilities that they do not possess. But the winds are changing. Saint Michael shows me that within a few weeks you will receive an unexpected professional proposal, or a promotion that seemed impossible, or an opportunity to start your own business with much better chances of success than you imagined. Doors that seemed eternally closed will open one after another. The secret is, when these opportunities arise, don't hesitate. Don't seek 1,000 opinions. Don't let the fear of others' envy paralyze you. Your loved one will be whispering, "Go, you deserve it," in your ear. Trust that inner voice, which is actually the voice of eternal love, encouraging you to take the place that has always been yours. And there is something very special that she wants you to know about love. You have carried the belief that you do not deserve to be loved completely, that you need to diminish yourself to be accepted, that you must always give more than you receive to keep people by your side. This will change dramatically. A true, mature, respectful love is coming into your life. But first you need to free yourself from the false loves that drain your energy. Saint Michael now reveals something to me that will deeply stir your emotions. There is a person in your inner circle, someone you consider almost family, who has been wearing a mask of friendship while secretly rooting against you. This person knows your deepest fears, your insecurities, your most intimate dreams, and has been using this information against you in a very subtle and calculated way. Every time you shared a joy, an achievement, a hope, this person reacted with words that seemed supportive, but were actually small doses of poison intended to plant doubts in your mind. Phrases such as, "Isn't it too soon? Be careful not to be disappointed. Are you sure you're ready?" were not loving caution. They were systematic attempts to undermine your self-confidence. Your departed loved one saw all these interactions and was desperate because they couldn't warn you directly. They tried to send you signs about this person through embarrassing situations, strange coincidences, moments when this false friend contradicted themselves in front of you. But you, being a pure-hearted person, always made excuses, always gave them the benefit of the doubt. Write in the comments, "The light that guides me is stronger than any darkness." This statement seals your courage, your faith, and your spiritual rebirth. Because what I am about to reveal will require you to be very brave to accept a painful truth about someone close to you. This person has access to your social media, knows your routine, and knows when you are going through difficult times. And instead of offering genuine support, they use this information to keep you in a state of emotional dependence. When you are doing well, they plant worries in your mind. When you are doing badly, they offer a friendly shoulder to cry on, but always with ulterior motives. Archangel Saint Michael shows me that this person is also involved in the family issues I mentioned earlier. They have offered to act as a mediator, as someone who can help resolve misunderstandings in the family. But in reality, they are fueling the conflicts, bringing distorted information back and forth, creating more confusion so that you continue to depend on their advice. And if this message is touching something in your heart, please consider supporting this delivery by clicking "Thank you very much." It is thanks to this gesture that we are able to continue bringing messages like this to those who need them most. It is support that makes a difference in the light we share here. There is a deep spiritual reason behind this situation. Your soul chose to go through this experience of disguised betrayal to develop discernment, to learn to trust your intuition more than pretty words, to strengthen your ability to set energetic boundaries. Each person who betrayed you was, without knowing it, a teacher sent to prepare you for a greater mission. Now write in the comments, "I am protected by invisible forces working in my favor." This opens the way for angels to act even more strongly in your life, neutralizing any negative influence that has been directed at you through this person. Your loved one wants you to understand something fundamental about forgiveness. Forgiving does not mean allowing them to continue hurting you. Forgiving does not mean pretending that nothing happened. Forgiving means releasing the negative energy that these experiences have created in your heart, so that you can move forward without carrying resentments that only harm yourself. But forgiving also means having the wisdom not to offer the same trust to those who have proven themselves unworthy of it. You can forgive and still choose to distance yourself, protect your energy, and share your dreams only with people who genuinely root for your success. This is not malice, it is spiritual self-preservation. Saint Michael reveals to me that in the coming days, you will witness situations that will confirm everything that is being said here. This person will give themselves away through their own actions, will let slip information they shouldn't know, will demonstrate knowledge about your private life that they could only have obtained by violating your privacy or talking about you with other people. When this happens, do not confront them directly at first. Observe, take mental notes, and put the pieces of the puzzle together. The angels are orchestrating situations so that you have clear and indisputable evidence before making any drastic decisions. Patience and wisdom are your greatest allies in this process. Your loved one also wants to talk about your love life. If you are single, it is because the angels have protected you from relationships that would only bring more pain and confusion. If you are in a relationship that does not make you completely happy, it is because you have not yet developed enough courage to claim the love you truly deserve. There is a pattern in your love life that needs to be broken. You have always been attracted to people who needed to be saved, understood, fixed. People who made you feel special because you were the only one who could see their potential, who believed in them when no one else did. But deep down, you were trying to save yourself through these relationships. That pattern is coming to an end. The next love that comes into your life will be completely different. It will be someone who has already solved their own problems, who doesn't need you to be their therapist or savior, who admires you for the strong woman you are, not for the fragile woman who accepts crumbs of affection. Archangel Saint Michael now allows me to share with you a vision of what really happened in the final moments of the life of the person you love. Contrary to what you may have imagined or what others may have told you, she did not leave with fear, anger, or regret. She left with a heart full of gratitude for the opportunity to have known you, to have been part of your story, to have been loved by someone as special as you. In her final moments, as she was transitioning between this world and the next, she had a transcendent experience. She saw her entire life pass before her eyes, but not as a judgment, as a celebration. She saw all the moments when she made a difference in other people's lives, all the smiles she brought, all the love she shared. And in all those moments, you were present in some way. She also saw your future not as a vague vision, but as a clear sequence of events that are destined to happen in your life. She saw you overcoming all your current difficulties. She saw you discovering your true inner strength. She saw you thriving in ways you never imagined possible. And it was this vision of your future success that filled her heart with peace at the moment of her departure. But she also saw the obstacles that still needed to be removed from your path, the people who would try to stop you, the unfair situations that needed to be corrected. So she negotiated with the angels, asking for permission to continue accompanying you even after her physical death, to protect you spiritually during this phase of transformation. Write in the comments, "I blossom like a sacred rose in the garden of angels." This statement awakens your inner beauty and attracts true love into your life, because your loved one wants you to understand that the time has come for you to blossom fully. There is something very specific that they want you to do in the coming weeks. There is a difficult conversation you have been putting off, an important decision you have been avoiding, a courageous step you have been postponing for fear of the consequences. The time for hesitation is over. The angels have already prepared all the conditions for you to succeed, but you need to take the first step. It may be the conversation with that family member about the hidden documents. It may be the decision to walk away from someone who has been draining your energy. It may be the courage to accept that professional opportunity that seems too big for you. It may be the end of a relationship that died long ago. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Saint Michael reveals to me that your loved one has been using all her spiritual influence to prepare the ground for your courageous action. She has been talking to other spirits of light, interceding with the guardian angels of the people involved, and working to align circumstances in your favor. Now write in the comments, "My steps are guided by footprints of light left by angels." And this aligns your path with the divine plan and removes invisible obstacles that could arise when you finally decide to act. There is a very powerful spiritual inheritance being transferred to you through this connection with those who have passed away. It is not just about money or material possessions, although those things are also part of it. It is about a lineage of feminine strength that has been dormant in your family for generations and is now awakening through you. Your ancestors, especially the women in your lineage who have passed away before you, are organizing themselves spiritually to support you in this mission to break negative family patterns, patterns of submission, of silencing, of accepting injustice, of fear of claiming rights. You are not fighting just for yourself, you are fighting for all of them who did not have the opportunity to do so. Your loved one wants you to understand that this battle you are facing is not a punishment, it is a mission. You have been chosen within your family to be the turning point, the generation that says, "Enough is enough," to patterns of oppression and injustice. It is a big responsibility, but you have all the spiritual abilities necessary to fulfill it successfully. There is also an issue related to your health that needs to be addressed. You have been neglecting the signs your body has been giving you, ignoring symptoms, and putting off necessary tests and care. Your loved one is concerned about this and wants you to understand that taking care of your physical health is a fundamental part of your spiritual mission. In the coming weeks, get those tests you've been putting off, make that doctor's appointment you've been avoiding, and start taking better care of your diet and sleep. Not out of vanity, but because you will need all your physical energy to face the changes that are coming. Your body is the temple of your soul, and it needs to be strong to withstand the spiritual intensity of this phase. Saint Michael also shows me that you will receive unexpected news related to someone from your past. Someone who was important in your life, but who drifted away or lost contact will reappear in a surprising way. This person brings important information about situations you never fully understood, and also brings a request for forgiveness for something that may have hurt you in the past. Welcome this person with an open heart, but maintain your boundaries. They are part of the healing process that is happening in your life, but that does not mean they should return to occupy the same space as before. Some people return to our lives to enable us to close cycles, not to restart relationships. Now we come to the most sacred moment of this message. Archangel Saint Michael allows me to reveal what your beloved one most wants you to know. You were never abandoned, not even for a second. Even when everything fell apart around you, even when you felt completely alone in the world, even when you thought God had forgotten you, she was there, holding your invisible hand, whispering words of encouragement that your heart received as intuitions. Every time you found the strength to get out of bed on the most difficult days, it was her instilling courage in your spirit. Every time a song played at the exact moment you needed to hear it, it was her asking the angels to send you this little miracle. Every time you looked up at the sky and felt an inexplicable peace, it was her enveloping you with her eternal love. She wants you to understand something fundamental about your spiritual nature. You are not an ordinary person. You have a direct connection to the celestial plane that most people take a lifetime to develop. Your premonitory dreams, your accurate intuitions, your ability to sense the energies of people and environments, all of these are rare and powerful spiritual gifts. That is why you have always felt different, out of place, misunderstood by most people. Because you really are different. You see through the masks that others wear. You perceive lies even when they are well crafted. You sense when someone is suffering even when that person is smiling. These characteristics make you a natural healer, a born counselor, a light in the midst of darkness. Write in the comments, "I am a sacred temple where only thoughts of light dwell." This purifies your mind of any shadows and instills thoughts of power and hope, because you need to recognize yourself as the special person you really are. Your loved one also wants to talk about a very specific situation that happened a few months ago. You made a decision that seemed wrong at the time, which brought you criticism and judgment and made people question your ability to discern. But that decision was the best one you could have made. It was your spiritual intuition protecting you from something much worse that was to come. If you hadn't made that decision at that moment, today you would be in an infinitely more complicated and painful situation. The angels inspired you to act exactly as you did, even if it meant disappointing people, breaking expectations and going against the opinion of the majority. You followed your inner voice, and that saved you from a much more difficult fate. And if this message makes sense to you, feel in your heart if it's time to click on the "Thank you so much" button below. Your support helps us continue to bring words of light and reconstruction to so many lives that need to hear them. Saint Michael now reveals something to me that will deeply move you. During all these months when you blamed yourself for not doing more, for not being more present, for not saying everything you wanted to say, your loved one was trying to comfort you, trying to tell you that you were perfect just as you were, that your love was felt completely, that your presence made all the difference, that there is nothing to regret. They want you to stop carrying guilt that is not yours. You loved the best way you knew how. You gave your best with the emotional resources you had at the time. You made choices based on love even when those choices were difficult. There is nothing to forgive, nothing to regret, nothing to redo. There was only pure and true love, and that is all that matters. Now write in the comments, "My gratitude is a prayer that echoes in the heavens." This gesture of recognition multiplies your blessings and opens paths that seemed impossible. Because gratitude is the key that opens all heavenly doors. There is a specific financial miracle being prepared for you. It will not come in an obvious or expected way. It may come through a larger tax refund than you calculated, forgotten money that will be found, a job opportunity that pays much more than you thought possible, or a favorable court decision in a situation you no longer even remembered existed. The important thing is that when this money arrives, you use part of it to do something special in honor of the person who has passed away. It doesn't have to be something expensive or grand. It could be a donation to a cause they supported, a special dinner to bring together people they loved, or a gift for someone they always wanted to please but never had the opportunity to. This gesture of love will energetically seal your connection with them and open channels for more financial blessings to continue coming into your life. It is like a spiritual investment that generates eternal dividends. The angels observe our generosity and repay us by multiplying our opportunities for prosperity. Your loved one also wants you to know that the loneliness you have been feeling is coming to an end. Not only because true romantic love is approaching, but because you will find your spiritual tribe. People who vibrate at the same frequency as you, who understand your sensitivity, who value your gifts, who genuinely support you. These people will appear in your life naturally and organically. They may be co-workers, neighbors, or people you meet through activities you start attending. The important thing is to remain open to new friendships and not allow past betrayals to close you off to the possibility of true connections. We have reached the final moment of this sacred revelation, and Archangel Saint Michael wants you to understand that this is not an end, but a beginning. The beginning of a new phase in your life where you will finally occupy the place that has always been yours, by divine right. A phase where your voice will be heard, your gifts will be recognized, your strength will be respected, and your love will be reciprocated with the same intensity. Your loved one made a point of being present at this moment because they wanted to personally give you a final farewell message. Not a sad farewell of separation, but a farewell of liberation. They want you to feel free to live fully, to be happy without guilt, to love again without fear, to dream big without limitations. All this time, they watched you diminish yourself, sacrificing yourself for others, putting your needs second, accepting less than you deserved for fear of being called selfish. This made them sad because they knew your enormous potential. They knew your ability to transform not only your own life, but the lives of many people around you. Now is the time for you to allow yourself to shine completely, without apologizing, without feeling guilty, without trying to make yourself small so as not to bother anyone. You were created to be a transformative force in this world. And when you hide, when you diminish yourself, when you silence your voice, the whole world loses. Write in the comments, "I dance in the rain of blessings that the angels pour upon me." This raises your vibration and attracts even more heavenly graces because the time has come for you to celebrate life with joy and gratitude. In the coming weeks, you will notice subtle but significant changes in the way people treat you. Some will start to seek you out more for advice, others will show more respect for your opinions, and still others will naturally drift away because they can no longer drain your energy as they did before. These are all signs that your spiritual frequency has risen to a higher level. Saint Michael reveals to me that you will also begin to have more intense spiritual experiences. You may begin to see repeating numbers more often. Your dreams may become more vivid and prophetic. You may begin to feel loving presences around you, even when you are physically alone. Do not be afraid of these experiences. They are gifts from heaven. Your loved one wants you to create a simple but powerful ritual to connect with them. Every night, before going to sleep, light a white candle and talk to them as if they were physically present. Tell them about your day, share your concerns, ask for advice, and thank them for the protection you have received. They will hear every word and find ways to respond to you through signs, dreams, and intuitions. Now write in the comments, "My soul recognizes the voice of angels in every whisper of the wind." This amplifies your ability to receive heavenly messages and divine signs, keeping you always connected to higher guidance. There is something very important about forgiveness that needs to be said. All the people who have hurt you, betrayed you, disappointed you, were part of a greater divine plan to strengthen you and prepare you for this new phase of your life. This does not mean that you should allow them to continue hurting you, but it does mean that you can release them from your heart without resentment. Forgiveness is not a favor you do for those who have hurt you. It is a gift you give yourself. When you forgive, you free yourself from the energetic weight that these hurts created in your heart. You recover vital energy that was being wasted on resentment and channel it to create beautiful things in your life. Your loved one forgave all the people who eventually hurt her during her earthly life. She did this not because they deserved forgiveness, but because she deserved the peace that forgiveness brought to her heart. And now she invites you to do the same, because you also deserve that peace, that lightness, that freedom. Saint Michael wants you to understand that this message came to you at the exact moment you needed to hear it. Not a day before, not a day after. There was a perfect divine synchronicity, so that your life circumstances, your emotional state, and your spiritual openness would align with the need to receive these revelations. Now that you know all these truths, you have a sacred responsibility to use this information to transform your life and then help others who are going through similar situations. You will become a beacon of hope for those who have lost loved ones, an example of resilience for those facing family betrayals, living proof that it is possible to rise from the ashes stronger and more beautiful. And if you feel that the angels have spoken to you today through this message, help us by clicking "Thank you very much," so that more people can receive these words of comfort and hope. This way, we can continue to be a channel for the angels to those who most need a kind word. Your journey of transformation is just beginning. In the coming months, you will be surprised by your own ability to overcome obstacles, make the right decisions, and attract people and opportunities that are aligned with your values and dreams. You will discover strength where you thought there was only weakness, and you will find wisdom where you believed there was only confusion. And throughout this process, always remember, you are not alone. You have a heavenly army working on your behalf. You have a special person on the spiritual plane interceding for you every day. You have guardian angels removing obstacles from your path before you even realize they existed. Walk with faith, with courage, with the certainty that the best is yet to come. Your story is far from over. In fact, the most beautiful chapters are just beginning to be written. And in the end, when you look back, you will understand that every pain was necessary to strengthen you. Every loss was necessary to teach you to value what really matters. Every battle was necessary to reveal the powerful warrior who has always lived within you. If this message touched your heart, share your experience in the comments. Tell your story to our community. Say what struck you most about this revelation. Together, we form a spiritual support network that strengthens us all. May the light of the angels continue to illuminate your path today and always.